I mean, so here's the funny thing is she's not wrong about what we talked about. She clearly tuned into the beginning of the show because we talked about the heat as a like, hey, how was your weekend? It's pretty hot, right? Like, banter before we got into the news. And so she watched from the beginning. She watched the live stream, which I think everybody knows you can't watch it back unless you're a member. So she, like, let's do some sleuthing here. She either tunes in on time, tunes in, presses pause, and goes back to it. But like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, all that banter is cut out of the actual clips if you just watch the clip. And we did talk about how Trump was asked once again by a supporter of his, how has your faith changed since you were in office? And he just gives the most inane, as I called, like head wound Hitler response. Again, he has no stock response for when it comes to his so-called Christianity. So we were just making fun of him and how this poor lady wanted like an honest answer about like her faith, and he had nothing to give her and just started saying like, I had no idea what a subpoena was before I got into power. It's like, nobody asked you about a subpoena, dude, but thanks for bringing it up. So we talked about that. And then the whiteness thing, and we could go on. But yeah, we mostly talked about what a massive hypocrite, and like, just like how can evangelicals or even Christians still like this guy?
Okay, so, oh my God, is Marjorie Taylor Greene a member?
I don't know.
Well, we say the members make the show happen. Maybe -1.
Maybe someone bought her a membership.
Could you imagine?
Let's be fair, Cenk. She does make the show for the amount of news, that we cover with her in it. She kind of does make the show.
Well, I hear you on that, and that's fair. And so we appreciate Marjorie Taylor Greene in a couple of different directions. So seriously, like you're right. You can't, watching the beginning of the show, like a lot of people don't know when we do the live shows that a lot of stuff is clipped out. And it's not like the old Dave Rubin accusation, like they maliciously cut out the banter. Right? No, just tidying up the clips, right? So that's why there's almost no clips of old school, because you can't tidy it up. Okay, but we do put up a couple every once in a while. Anyway, so so that means, like you said, either she paused or was watching very much live, which by the way, I recommend everybody do, okay? TYT.com/live, watch all of our shows live. Damage reports at 1 o'clock Eastern and leads off our programming. Young Turks is at 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock Eastern every night. Okay, and you'll never know what you catch. And by the way, if you watch the clips, as Marjorie Taylor Greene knows, you miss some of the best stuff, okay? So it would be hilarious if someone gifted her a membership, like on YouTube or Twitch or on our website or something. She said, well, it is a gift. I'll check it out.
If someone gifted her a favor with, I just blew, gifted her a membership, was it a favor or was it a way to torture her? I don't know.
Right? She's like, what is this? I'll click on it. I mean, I could see our membership doing that. I feel like TYT folks would do that. Just like, and look, the responses to her tweet are like, good, keep watching. You might learn something.
Well, my response was a little different.
She didn't.
But a little bit similar too, though. But Francisco, you're not wrong. Like, kidding aside, like I'm glad she was watching. Like, and by the way, like if she knew what she was getting into, I'll even give her a little bit of credit, because you should be checking out the other side and seeing what they're saying. I don't know that she came in with an open mind, but hey, she watched it, and to me, that's actually as good as as you can hope for from someone from the other side. And by the way, our side should from time to time peek into their programming. I mean, it's a House of Horrors, but like not Marjorie Taylor Greene in specific, but right-wing shows. And maybe you'll catch a segment that makes sense. I mean, good luck, right? But I do want everybody to keep an open mind. So, are we not merciful? Fairest show in America, right? Fairest network in America. Marjorie Taylor Greene, attaboy for watching. Okay.
Yeah, and not only that, but she kept watching. See, because the thing is that we talked about the weather in the beginning, talk about a little bit of the climate. Then we got into the, Trump being a massive hypocrite and like completely non-religious, even though he gets the evangelical vote. And then we talked about like how Trump supporters now believe that anti-white racism, supposedly racism, is a bigger problem than anti-black racism. So then I was explaining, well, like racism is a construct and it was actually created race and like stratifying people by their skin of the color of their skin. That's created by white people. So really, like you can't, it doesn't work the opposite way. You can be bigoted against white people, you can be discriminatory against white people. I was kind of laying it down like, no, racism is very much against like anti-black, anti-Asian, and people of color, anti-native, all that. And so it was interesting because she watched the whole clip, guys. I think that's even a different discussion. She watched like 20 to 30 minutes of the show.
You could tell because of the last line, like there, I watched it. Like she's proud that she watched it a long time, and so you don't have to.
Yeah.
But again, credit to her on that. I'm merciful, I'm reasonable. On the other hand, I did tweet this in response. We appreciate you enjoying the programming on TYT Network. Damage Report is live every day at 1 p.m. Eastern at tyt.com/live. Come on, even Marjorie doesn't believe that Trump's a real Christian. He spent more time inside Jeffrey Epstein's house than inside a church. Which is probably a fact, right? So I don't know the math. I haven't followed Trump around his whole life. That's why I said probably. But we do know, we covered it on a segment we did today that of course Trump was really good friends with Jeffrey Epstein and said that he was, quote, a terrific guy and that he liked girls young. So of all the different people that went to Epstein's house and did whatever they did, the one guy who's on the record as saying, oh, I know Jeffrey Epstein likes them young, is Donald J. Trump, right? And Franny, you're right about the story from today. We didn't cover it on the Young Turks, but I'm glad Damage Report did, about Trump not knowing anything about the Bible. But that's like the 18th time we've done a story about Trump not knowing anything about the Bible. He's like, Corinthians 2.0 says, come on, dude, come on.
But he doesn't, it's not even the Bible. Nobody was quizzing him. All it is like, how has your faith changed? And what I was saying is, he doesn't even have a stock answer. All you gotta say is, it's deepened, greater appreciation of God. No, because, and again, the fact that he said that about Epstein shows you the one semi-silver lining about Trump, which is he has no filter and he doesn't know how to lie. And that was the whole thing about him not knowing how to lie. Like obviously he will like take the fifth, he will openly say, no, I didn't do that witch hunt. But again, his lies all just sound like projections. But he can't lie. And so he didn't even have a stock answer for the how has your faith changed? He doesn't have an answer when it's like, hey, how about Jeffrey Epstein? Don't mention the young girls, you ding dong. But of course he does, because he says the one thing that you're not supposed to say, or that and that's why he gets himself into trouble.
See, that's why Trump is accidentally authentic, because he doesn't, for most of the time he doesn't speak with a prompter and he doesn't sound like a fake politician. Now, why do the politicians sound fake? Well, part of it is terrible because they're given talking points. They don't really, a lot of them don't have a mind of their own. You'd be shocked at how unintelligent most of the politicians are. And they're like, I have been given this talking point by my staffer who told me that the donors want me to say this. And Trump comes in, he's like, Jeffrey Epstein, I know he likes him young. You're like, okay, well, he didn't script that. So that gives a sense of faux authenticity. But when you say he can't lie, of course what you mean is he's a terrible liar, right?
Yes.
Like not that he doesn't lie, he lies legendarily. And that's why, she said you guys didn't mention Democrats because that story wasn't about Democrats. But little does she know, at TYT Network, we criticize Democrats. We criticize Democrats a lot, right? And so that's why I'm furious with Democratic leaders, the Democratic Party, that they can't beat this buffoon. This guy's got verbal diarrhea. And all you gotta do is poke him on any issue, and the dumbass doesn't plan a thing. He lies 24/7, but doesn't bother to think through any lie he's gonna tell. So he's like, yeah, I love the Bible, love it. Love both the testaments. I like testimony, not my testimony.
Which is your favorite though? Are you an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy? His answer was Both.
Literally what he said.
Just pick one, you dumbass. Like,